Shalom, Akim. This is Yabatazah. I want to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, what Yahweh Shai, double honor to the elders of Great Millstone. Much love and respect to all you brothers out there doing the work in sincerity and truth, striving for the hopeful elect, enduring all afflictions and seeking out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashim, Rakakadosh, Barakatam, Akim, wa Akwathim. Alright, coming back with another video. Basically, just want to go into being careful on who you surround yourself with, and what comes out your mouth and what you reveal unto people. Because there's a lot of people out here that may seem sincere, or may be using the titles calling you brother, or giving you high praises, etc., making you feel comfortable. Like a woman would speak to a man to get him to be in comfort towards her and to be entrusted. But behold, it's all deception. So you got to be very careful on what you reveal into people, who you allow into your private life, around your children, around your woman if you have one, or just you in general. You know what I'm saying? You got to protect yourself at all costs, because there's a lot of people out here that are not for you, and some of them may come in the guise of being in the truth, calling themselves Christians or men of the Lord. People out there that in the churches and things of that nature. So you got to be very careful on what you reveal to people, and even when it comes to your woman, because your woman, your wife, girlfriend, whatever, she's around you 24/7. She knows you more than anybody else. She knows your secrets, pretty much. The things you like, dislike, the way you speak, the way you move. She sees things that not everybody will be able to see. And those women, a lot of women, they're not faithful, they're not loyal. Okay, and you got to be, like I said, the scriptures say, circumspect, vigilant, because Satan, evil spirits, they operate through women, your family members, friends, people that claim themselves to be in the truth, or even in the churches that try to come, with that lovey-dovey spirit. You gotta be very careful with people. So babe, that's the premise of the video. The lesson is just being wary of who you reveal things unto, because there's a lot of people that like to talk. A lot of people are into gossiping, chismosos or chismosas, that are just always wanting to know the info, that way they can go and tell so-and-so and reveal your secrets. Alright, so I'm going to start off with Proverbs 11:13. It says, a talebearer revealeth secrets, but he that is of a faithful spirit concealeth the matter. Okay, so a talebearer is somebody that goes and wanders off and tells you things. They go on their little mission to reveal what it was that they heard, eavesdropping, or they're conducting, a conversation with you just to gain information, or they like to be a listening ear. A lot of people say, just listen to me, just be there and hear what I got to say. But behold, they're there to gather information, and then they're going to go tell so-and-so. So you can't just be ranting or spilling everything onto a person. You gotta fully trust individuals. That's why you pray unto Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. They're the ones that are gonna do what they need to do for you that's beneficial. And they're gonna hold those secrets. They already know before you even speak. They know what's in your heart. But people, they go and like to spread rumors, spread your information about your privacy, your private life, your woman, your man, your children, whatever that's going on. Financial stability, your job, everything. A lot of dudes that split up with their woman. The woman goes and meets another dude, and there she goes spilling everything about you to him. He knows everything about you, and that's the scary thing. It's a messed up thing, but hey, that's why we're under the curses, because we went off. You know, so you got to be very vigilant and circumspect on who you deal with. You know, that's why you hear the elders say, you know, it's better off just to be alone. And it's the truth. When the older you get, you start to realize it's better to be alone. You know, as far as like dealing with women. You know, you deal with women here and there, you get what you need to get from them, and you roll out. But you don't be trying to be all cuddled up and lovey-dovey with them under the same roof, because these girls are not on the same mission as a lot of men are. They're there for security. Not once that security, or they feel that security is not beneficial to them no more, or whatever the case may be, or you're not bringing enough to the table anymore, that's not enough, because they're insatiable. They're greedy individual people, women, and they're gonna roll out to the next one that's able to give them more or greater. Okay, so it says Proverbs 11:13, a talebearer revealeth secrets, but he that is a faithful spirit concealeth the matter. I'm gonna go into that word talebearer real quick. I don't want to make this video too long. It says halak, to go, walk, come, proceed, move, go away, depart, to die, live, manner of life, figuratively, to traverse, to bring, lead away. And the Strong's definition, it says to walk, literally, figuratively. Okay, so they like to wander around. All right, let's see. Look up this word. To reveal is the law, which is to uncover, remove, to discover, or show oneself. Okay. The Strong's definition is to denude, especially in a disgraceful sense, by implication to exile, captives being usually stripped, figuratively to reveal. Right? So spiritually they're revealing you, they're denuding you. So whenever in Proverbs 11, when you go to that word reveal, in Proverbs 11:13, it brings up the word denude. So you go, let's go to the dictionary and look up that word denude for the definition. It says to deprive of something important, to strip of all covering or surface layers, to lay bare by erosion, to strip, to make naked. So whenever you're in that certain spirit of wanting to vent or to rant about your emotions, your feelings and struggles, whatever you're going through, they're going to be a listening ear, and they're going to gather the information and wander with it. So you got to be very careful with that. You got to be, again, you got to be cautious on who you allow you around yourself in your private life. Okay, especially in these days, man. These days are horrible, and people are trying to get away with a lot of things, and they get away with stuff on the internet and all the surveillance that's going on, and calling the cops and things of that nature. There's a lot of deception and disloyalty going on, betrayal, and you got to be very, very cautious in these times. I've made my mistakes. I've revealed a lot, way too much than I should have to certain people, and yeah, you know what I'm saying. And I had to pay the price. So just know, don't reveal yourself too much. And like a brother once told me, don't reveal your hand. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you gotta play your part as being I don't want to say deceptive, but can't find the word. More or less under the radar. You know, kind of giving that nonchalant, you know, that stoic look, to where, you know, you're unmoved or you're unbothered. You don't want to be saying too much, mysterious. You know, you got to be that way, man, because in these times people are using information against you. You know, doing smear campaigns, or, you know, just spreading rumors. You know, trying to defame you of your name. So you got to be very cautious of those things. So let's go back, and I want to look up that word secrets real quick. So what? So the council, assembly, company, secret council, familiar converse, intimacy. Right. So whenever you're trying to have that intimate communication with your friend, your woman, or your family members, that's where you trust that individual, but you got to be very cautious because you can't be doing that. Because you got family members that be spilling everything. You know what I'm saying? Telling the wrong people your information. Okay? So the Strong's definition, it says a session that is company of persons in close deliberation, by implication, intimacy, consultation, a secret. Okay? So the only one you're supposed to be intimate with in that sense is Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. You can't be telling everybody, family, your woman, your friends, you know, and some brothers, you can't even be doing that because they haven't learned that lesson of concealing the matter, right? That's what it said in Proverbs 11 and 13. It says, a talebearer revealeth secrets, but he that is a faithful spirit concealeth the matter. He that is a faithful spirit concealeth the matter. Okay? So let's go to Micah 6. Micah 7 and 5. Trust you not in a friend, put ye not confidence in a guide. Keep the doors of thy mouth from her that lieth in thy bosom. Right, that's your woman. It's like the example of Samson and Delilah. You know, Samson got comfortable and was like being, you know, tempted, you know, kind of teasing her on how to, the riddles and all that stuff, on how to figure out where the strength came from. And then I believe she got him like kind of intoxicated, and he revealed what his strength came from. So like, yeah, and that's where he messed up. You can't be doing that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And then what happened? She betrayed him. And we already know. If you don't know, read the story of Samson and Delilah. You know, that's a lesson to be looked at and to take into consideration and apply it to your life. You walk in life when you come and deal with women. You know. Yeah, there's a scripture that came to me. I believe it might be in Jeremiah. It's either in Jeremiah or Isaiah. Just bear with me. This is Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 3. And they bend their tongues like their bow for lies, but they are not veiling for the truth upon the earth, for they proceed from evil to evil, and they know not me, saith Yahweh. Take ye heed every one of his neighbor, and trust you not in any brother. For every brother will utterly supplant, and every neighbor will walk with slanders. And they will deceive every one his neighbor, and will walk, and will not speak the truth. They have taught their tongue to speak lies, and weary themselves to commit iniquity. Right. So you got to even be careful with those that call you a brother. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta again, just take proper precautions upon your personal life. So let's go back to Micah 7 and 6. For the son dishonoreth the father, the daughter riseth up against her mother, the daughter-in-law against the mother-in-law. A man's enemies are the men of his own house. Therefore I will look unto the Lord Yahweh, and I will wait for the power of my salvation, for Yahweh will hear me. So that's the one you're supposed to be intimate with when it comes to things that are, you know, sensitive information. You don't go and be telling everybody. It's like in the churches, they try to be telling you know, especially Catholic individuals that spill everything onto those priests and those confession stands, and they're telling another man, and he's gonna go and, you know, tell him what he does with that information. You're supposed to repent and confess unto Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Okay? Yes, there's scriptures, and I believe in Galatians where it says confess your faults one to another, but that's where you go out towards one another. But when it comes to certain things, you know, you leave it unto Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Now, if you trust somebody, a brother that's in the flesh, then yeah, you can do that. You know? This is one, it's going into counsel, but let me see if I can get it. It's in the Sirach. Yeah, this is Sirach 6. And I'll start at verse 5. It says, sweet language will multiply friends, and a fair speaking tongue will increase kind greetings. You know, this is profitable. But even the wicked, the unrighteous, can use this against you, to deceive you. The serpent, you know what I'm saying, to be like a snake, double tongue. All right, so you got to be cautious. You got to know how to read and discern through the spirit when you're trying to be swayed by individuals, your woman, your family. You know, you got to know how to tell with the body language, the sincere smiles and eyes. You got to look at all that. The vibe, the energy, the spirit that's around you with this individual. So they'll come like that with sweet language, will multiply friends, and a fair speaking tongue will increase kind greetings. And they know this, but they don't come with sincerity. Okay? It says, be in peace with many, nevertheless have but one counselor of 1,000. Right, so have one counselor of 1,000. Don't be out there like everybody on social media trying to get this and that, and they're spilling their information to everybody, the whole internet, making videos about their lives and their children and all kinds of stuff. You know, you can't be doing that, man. I mean, you can if you want to be, you know, a dummy. See, it says, Sirach 6:7, if thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him. For some man is a friend for his own occasion. Right. There's a lot of people that are only your friend for their own occasion, to use you whenever you're beneficial to them or convenient. But when it comes for you needing them, they ain't gonna be there. And that's a red flag, what they call now a red flag nowadays. You gotta separate yourself from those people. And I will not abide in the day, and will not abide in the day of thy trouble. Right. And there is a friend who being turned to enmity and strife will discover thy reproach. Right. They're gonna discover what it is, and they're gonna go tell everybody, and they're gonna try to spirit like look what so and so did. You know, they're gonna be laughing at you and stuff like that. It says again, some friend is a companion at the table, and will not continue in the day of thy affliction. Right, they're quick to receive, but not quick to give their assistance, their protection, their advice, and sincerity. It says, but in thy prosperity he will be as thyself, and will be bold over thy servants. If thou be brought low, he will be against thee, and will hide himself from thy face. Separate thyself from thy enemies, and take heed of thy friends. So not everybody's a friend, like we read in Micah 7, right? So you gotta have good discernment on knowing who's a friend and not. That's why you gotta know between good and evil, because the evil you learn from that. You see that aspect of individuals or life, and you apply that into your walk with the spirit. Okay, discerning between people, between good and evil. And if you see it, you remove yourself from that. Or you can approach them and speak to them, hey man, this is what you did. If they correct it, and good, they move forward and they grow. If not, you separate yourselves from those people. It don't matter if it's a brother, whatever. You be cautious. It says, separate thyself from thine enemies, and take heed of thy friends. A faithful friend is a strong defense. He that hath such a one has found a treasure. Nothing does countervail a faithful friend, and his excellency is invaluable. A faithful friend is a medicine of life, and they that fear the Lord shall find him. Whoso feareth the Lord shall direct his friendship aright. For as he is, so shall his neighbor also be. Right. So the Lord's going to build and bond between you and that individual, or you and that woman, to become a faithful, a stronghold. You know, a unit. Okay, a team that's not separated or against one another. Telling spilling and beans and the talebearers and busybodies and the gossips and all this stuff, trying to smear your name and throw your name in the dirt and all this stuff. You don't want to be around those kind of people, but the Lord is going to establish that bond, that friendship between two individuals. Okay, whether it be a man or a woman. So I just wanted to bring that out. I hope it was edifying. Until next time, I want to say shalom.